Have you ever heard of the Gospel of Barnabas?
Brother,
Okay.
it's a 13th to 15th century document. It's not written by Barnabas, nowhere near. It's a forgery with falsehoods matching up with Islam, but then going against Islam by saying that Jesus is not the Messiah, Muhammad's the Messiah.
Scholars say the Gospel of Barnabas is fake, but when you actually examine their evidence and compare it to the four Gospels they do accept, their argument falls apart completely. The first claim is that this is a 13th to 15th century document. Wrong. What was found in Prince Eugene of Savoy's library in Vienna was a 13th to 15th century Italian translation. This is a copy. And we know that it was copied from a Semitic language originally, phrases no native Italian speaker would ever construct. The copy being medieval tells us nothing about when the original was written. The date of the manuscript does not automatically equal the date of composition. It proves it existed. It does not prove it originated in the 15th century. So the true question is not when is this Italian copy from, but rather what is it preserving? They say Barnabas did not write it. Okay, prove it. Because here is what the Gospel of Barnabas is: a first person primary source account. The author was there and he writes as an eyewitness. So let's apply the same standard to the four canonical Gospels. Luke is not a disciple. He collected stories in third person. Mark is not a disciple. He collected stories in third person. Matthew copies from Luke and Mark, is the name of a disciple, but is in third person. John, theological third person. None of them are first person eyewitness accounts. We don't actually know who wrote them. The names were attached to them later. If you're going to say that Barnabas did not write the gospel, we must say the same for Matthew, John, Luke, and Mark. You cannot hold Barnabas to a standard that you refuse to apply to the canon. If someone committed forgery here, it's worth asking which document it actually was, yours or mine. And here's the kicker. Paul, the most prolific writer of the entire New Testament, names Barnabas in Galatians as one of the pillars that gave him his authority. A tradition that dismisses the gospel of Barnabas is built on a foundation that acknowledges Barnabas's credibility. You don't get to use him when it's convenient and erase him when it's not. Here's where it gets interesting. Critics say that the gospel of Barnabas contradicts Islam because it says that Jesus is not the Messiah. But the Quran states the Injil, the original gospel, must be in agreement with the Torah, not the Quran. That is the Quran's own standard. But in the Torah, in Jewish tradition, Jesus does not meet the criteria for the Messiah, and Barnabas saying that Jesus is not the Messiah is not a contradiction. It is the gospel doing exactly what the Quran says the gospel should do, align with the Torah. In Barnabas, it says the messenger's name is Muhammad. In the Quran, in chapter 61, verse 6, it says the messenger's name is Ahmed. Muslims say that these are the same person, but the Quran explicitly says it corrects the errors of previous scriptures. And the Christians forgot what Allah taught them. So we would refer to the Quran and the correct name would be Ahmed. What matters is this. Both texts agree that a messenger is coming after Jesus to the children of Israel. The messenger is not Jesus. Both of them say that he was not crucified. Barnabas and the Quran agree with the story. The Quran just corrects the name. With the Gospel of Barnabas as a first-person eyewitness account that agrees with the Torah. It corroborates the Quran and holds up to every scrutiny we apply to every other ancient text. The four canonical Gospels cannot make that claim. There is one first-person gospel in the room, and it is the one they told you to ignore. That should tell you everything. Follow for part 2. Who is Ahmed and why it matters?